All right. Then let's start with today's tutorial then. Okay, so I hope that you have the questions with you. You need the questions with you, so it's easier to refer and easier to see what I'm delivering to you. So let's look at the first question here. List and briefly describe 3 basic questions addressed by financial managers. So number 1, what are the regular questions that being addressed to financial manager? So number 1, what long-term investment should the firm choose? So this question is basically targeting on these things only. Capital budgeting, or also known as investment decision. Okay, this is one of the major questions that usually being asked to financial manager. What long-term investment should the firm choose? So this is basically capital budgeting, or also known as investment decision. They usually want to ask a financial manager what kind of investment they want to do for a firm. Whether it's going to be expansion of the business, buying new property, okay, or invest in R&D, hiring more people, or buying more assets or whatsoever. So this is the different kind of investment decision. How are they going to expand the company? So this is question number 1, that being question to financial manager. So question number 2, how should you fund this investment? Okay, how should you fund the investment? So funding, this is capital structure. Okay, this is known as capital structure, okay, or financing decision. Under this section, you basically want to know where is your source of money coming from. So for example, in question 1 here, if you are deciding to expand the business by doing more research, okay, so where do you get the money for this research to go on? This is capital structure, or we call it financing decision. It's separated into 2 different sources of financing, debt or equity. So what is debt? Debt are things like bonds, loans, and other borrowing. Okay, so bonds, basically you are borrowing from the public. You are issuing bonds. When the company issuing bonds, means they are borrowing from the public. Okay, loans means you are borrowing from the banks or financial institutions. And lastly, borrowing from others means basically from your family, your friends, or whatsoever. Okay, from loan shark also is called borrowing. So debts. Okay, debt is one of your financing decision, one of your capital structure, one of the source of getting capital. Moving on, equity. Equity is things like stocks. Okay, stocks. So a company issues stocks. All right, they are selling a portion of the company to people. Okay, so people are paying a certain amount in exchange of the company stocks or equities. So they're being part of the shareholder. So that is by equity, by injecting capital. So 2 different capital structure here. One is via debt, one is via equity. Equity means you're giving out stakes of the company. Debt, you're not giving out anything, but you're going to give them interest to repay them for lending the money to you. All right. Moving on to the 3rd common questions that being issued or being questioned to financial manager. How should short-term investment, okay, or short-term assets be managed or financed? So this last one represented by capital management. What kind of capital management? Working capital management. Okay, this is basically the control of inflow and outflow of money in the firm. All right, you're balancing on your cash inventories, your credit sales, and even your short-term financing. So you control the movement of money in a day-to-day basis. This is working capital management. Okay, you control the movement of money for the operation of the business. You make sure there's sufficient money coming in and you're not spending more than the money coming in. Okay, so this working capital management. All right, these three are the common questions being asked to financial manager, and three of them represent three different sections: capital budgeting, capital structuring, and also lastly, working capital management. Okay, so hope that you have a better understanding now on these three different questions that always being issued to financial manager. Right, moving on. Moving on to question number 2 now. What are the advantages does the corporate form of organization have over sole proprietorships or partnerships? Okay, so why corporate is better compared to sole proprietorship or also known as partnership? Okay, so what is corporate first? In Malaysia, corporate means company like Sembilan Berhad. In overseas, you call it private limited company. As for sole proprietorship and partnership are enterprises. Okay, so how do you categorize this? So for example, like tailors, like what else? Any common company that we know? Tailors, Tesco, all these are corporates lah. Again, they're big organizations. Okay, they're bigger organizations. Enterprise is like the chicken rice hawker guy, okay, or the burger stand guy. They're selling the roadside, or your news vendor by the roadside, newspaper vendor. So all these are enterprises, small businesses. Okay. So what are the advantages of corporates compared to proprietorships and partnerships? Very simple. Number one, corporates easy to transfer ownership. Easy transfer ownership. How come? Because corporate are being moderated. Okay, they got company secretary, they got company auditor, and so on and so forth. Whereas sole proprietorship and partnership are self-managed. So they don't have proper valuation. Okay, they don't have proper documentation. So it's hard for transferring of ownership. Okay, number one. Number two, a corporate owner, all right, have limited liability. Okay, what does it mean? So corporates, like Sembilan Berhad and private limited, this shows that they have limited liability. Okay, so if they take a loan from the bank and they went into default, their owner's personal account are not affected. So the company might go bankrupt, but the owner still could be a millionaire or a billionaire. Okay, enterprises is different. They could not take any loan as a corporate, or they cannot take any business loan. The only way they can take loan is personal loan, and personal loan involves their own net worth or their own collateral as a support to their loans. So if they go into default or they could not pay back the loan, that means it will be the owner's liability. The owner can go bankrupt under sole proprietorship and partnership. Number three, can raise more capital. Okay. What do they mean by can raise more capital? Corporate can issue bonds to borrow money from public. They can issue shares to sell company equities. But enterprises can't. They don't have proper valuation, documentation. They don't even know what their company worth of. And lastly, unlimited business life. Once you are registered as a private limited company, your business will be forever there unless you closed off the company. If not, you'll be forever there. Whereas for enterprises, it's on a renewal basis. So if it's not being renewed, then the company don't exist anymore. Okay, so these are the typical four advantages of being a corporate compared to being a sole proprietorship or partnership. Okay, all right. So moving on to question 3 now. What should be the goal of financial manager of a corporation and why? So remember this, this is very easy. What is the goal of a financial manager of a corporation? Their goal is to maximize share price. Okay, their goal is to maximize share price. But why? To maximize shareholders' wealth. This is the whole motive of a financial manager, to maximize shareholder wealth. By how? By maximizing share prices. Share price become high, shareholder will automatically become wealthy. So this is their roles and this is their goals also. Okay, clear? Huh? So very simple. Just remember, maximizing share price. Why do they want to do that? Because they need to maximize the shareholder wealth. They are being hired to do so. Okay, so we move on to question number 4 now. Question number 4 is talking about agency problem. So I don't know how many of you went through this agency problem before. Should be already familiar with it, as if you already did intro to finance, this is one of the main focus here. So agency problem is the conflict between the management team. Okay, conflict between management or staff and the owner. Okay, and the owner. So the question asked here, do you think the agency problem arise in sole proprietorship or in partnership? So let's say take the chicken rice shop lah, the standard chicken rice shop at the hawker center. Okay, if you are the owner of the chicken rice shop, okay, if your closing time is 5 p.m., if there are still chicken and there are still customers coming after 5, will you still sell the chicken or not? If you're the owner, you're selling chicken rice in a hawker center, your closing time is 5 o'clock, you still have chicken and you still have people coming in. Will you still sell chicken or not? You sell chicken. Exactly. Why? Because it's your own business. The more chicken you sell, the more profit you gain. Makes sense, right? Okay? So, imagine if you outsource your stall, okay, your chicken rice, to another person. You hired someone to take over the job. Okay, you hired someone to take care of the shop, and you're not there at all. So this person that you hired back, his opening hours is 10 to 5, or in other words, his working hours is 10 to 5. So what is his goal? At 5 o'clock, when at the closing time, there's someone coming in, will he or she still continue selling chicken or not? Exactly, out of stock, sorry. Why? Because it's not their goal, what? They work extra, they don't gain anything. Okay, and that's their off work time. They finish work at 5 o'clock. So why do they want to work so hard? So this incident itself is an agency problem. Okay, this itself is an agency problem. All right, conflict of interest. If you're a boss, you want to maximize profit, what? But if you're only working for your boss tell you to work until 5, you work until 5 lah. Cannot sell the chicken. Boss problem, I put in the fridge or I bring home and eat myself. Better. Okay, so this is conflict of interest. This is agency problem. So now they're asking you, will a sole proprietorship and or partnership will face agency problem? So the answer here is no. Why? Because sole proprietorship and partnership is usually owned by the owner and run by the owner themselves. So they are hands-on. They don't hire an external people to take over their job. So in that case, agency problem less likely to happen in proprietorships and ownership. Okay, so I guess you guys get the idea here pretty much. It's quite easy to understand also from the explanation. So hope that you guys can keep that story in your back of your head, and every time when you come to exam questions asking about agency problem, it wouldn't be an issue anymore. Okay, all right. So let's go on to some true and false question here. So we'll go through this very quickly because these are some of the statements here only. So these are some theory statements lah. So just identify whether it's true or false only. So yep. Okay. So look at the first question here. The board of director is ultimately responsible for all large investment decisions. True or false? The answer here is true. Okay. All large investment decisions in a corporate must get through all the approval from the board of director, or must get through at least via a majority vote. Okay. Number two, a corporation has a legal existence of its own and is based on articles of incorporation. Yes, this is true. Okay, there are a strict set of regulations to state how only you can be a corporation. Okay, you need to go through a certain steps and certain criteria. Number three, real assets of a corporation are claims on their financial assets. This one false. Okay, false. Number four, the treasurer's responsibility include preparation of financial statements. False. No, treasurer means do treasury job only. Okay, preparation of financial statements are done by accountants. Okay, in large firms, there's usually a CFO or chief financial officer who oversees both the treasurer's and the controller's work. This one is true. Okay, in bigger firms, they will usually have a CFO. That means a head for all these departments and to take care and to control money inflow and outflow of the company and the budgeting and so on and so forth. Number six, the controller's responsibility typically include banking relation and cash management. No, a controller responsibility means basically they're doing compliance only. They don't need to take care about the banking relations and cash management. It's not their field of responsibilities. And the last one, manager, shareholders, and the firm's debt holders have identical information about the value of the firm. True or false? Of course, it's false lah. Okay, manager wouldn't know. Okay, debt holder also wouldn't know. Maybe people go and tell your debt holder how much money you got in the company. All right, you won't tell that to people. So shareholder, yes, they will know. They will know the value of the firm. They will know what is inside the firm. They know what is the information regarding the financials in the firm also. Okay. So far, anyone facing any difficulty? Any problem so far? Okay. Okay, very good. I hope that the rest that did not respond, you are good as well. You know what is going on. All right. Let's go on to the next chapter here on chapter 4. Okay, so we go to chapter 4. All right. Chapter 4 is discounted cash flow valuation. Discounted cash flow valuation. So what you do here? So let's look at the first question here. Very simple. The first question is telling you First Citibank. Okay. First Citibank pays 8% simple interest. Simple interest means no compounding lah. Okay, on his saving account balances. Whereas second Citibank pays 8% compounded annually. That means every year there's compounding. Okay, if you made 5,000 deposit in each bank, how much more money would you earn from your second Citibank account at the end of 10 years? So for 10 years, for both of the account here, you put in $5,000. What do you earn? Which one earn more? Okay, so let's look at Citibank first. First Citibank. Okay, first Citibank, you put in $5,000. Okay, each year get 8%. So that means $400 per year. So if you put 10 years, 10 times $400, interest you earn is $4,000 total interest. Okay, so your total amount will be the initial 5,000 you deposit plus 4,000. You get a total $9,000 in your bank after 10 years if you put in First Citibank. Okay, so no compounding here. Simple interest per year. Fixed interest per year. But in second Citibank, situation is different a bit. Okay, second Citibank, different. It's compounded interest. If it's compounded, you must use this formula. FV equals to PV times 1 plus R power of T. Okay, what is the future value now? We don't know. But present value is 5,000. You deposit $5,000. Interest rate is 8%, 0.08. Time is 10 years. So you will get 10794.62. Okay, this is using scientific calculator. For those who are using financial calculator, especially the BA2 plus, you can key in. For present value, always put a negative. You click the plus minus sign in your calculator. Key in 5,000, click PV. Okay, click 8 for your interest per year, IY. And then click 10 for 10 years for your N. Compute FV. You will get the same answer, 10794.62. Okay, I hope that you know to use your calculator for this simple calculation. So now, it's not the end of the question yet. You realize if you use compounding, you get 10,794.62. If you use the simple interest in first bank, you only get $9,000. So what is the difference when the question asks you, how much more you earn from your second Citibank account? So 10794.62 minus 9,000. So with the second Citibank, you earn an extra 1794.62. Okay? Can. Easy, right? Quite straightforward and easy, right? No rocket science at all. Okay? So if you use calculator for this kind of question, way easier more. You just need to compute whatever is missing. Okay? For those who use scientific calculator, make sure you key in the correct amount of open bracket and close bracket. If not, you might face difficulty finding the exact answer. Okay. So, any issue so far? Anyone have any difficulty? Very good. Okay, very good. See, thank you for responding. So, upcoming question, question number 2 is practice question here. 2, 3, 4, also a practice question. You do this together, okay? So since it's so boring, it's always one-sided from me itself, let's make it more interactive, all right? I will give you the formula on how to do it. You guys give me the answers. If you don't wish to speak out, you can even type it out. So that's, I can see that you are participating in class also. It won't be just me talking. It's quite boring, right? So let's try at least practice your calculation during this period, this 2-hour session with me, and not only during the one day before exam. You wouldn't be too stressed out. So let's look at question number 2 here. Number 2A. Compute the future value of 1,000 compounded annually for A, 10 years at 5%. Okay, so if you want to put this in your timeline, you're going to be like this. 0 to 10 years. Okay, present value is 1,000. Future value, you need to count. Interest rate is 5%. All right, very simple. They want you to count future value. Future value formula is FV equals to PV times 1 plus R power of T. Okay, all right. So if you're using a manual way, you just need to key in 1,000 1 plus 0.05 power of 10. What is the answer? For those who use calculator, plus minus 1,000 as PV, 5% as IY, interest per year. Okay, Zarif, very good. 1628.89. That's exactly the answers. And 10 for N. Compute your FV, sorry. So yes, answer is 1628.89. Okay, 1628.89. Repeat this for the next 3 questions. Next 2, sorry, next 2. So B is 10 years at 10%. So if you replace FV is equals to 1,000, 1 plus 0.1 power of 10. So you get 2593.74 exactly. 2593.74. Last one is for 20 years. 20 years at 5%. Oh, very good. Go very fast. I hope you count, don't go and copy from solution and give me 2653.3. Okay, so all got it already. Very good. So now, the question B, they tell you this. Why the interest earned in part C, why part C interest, this is 20 years at 5%, is not the double of A? Why is it not the double of A? Okay, by right, it's the same. 10 years at 5%, 20 years at 5%, A1628 should be 3256 or 3257.7 something. How come it's only 2653? So very simple. Because you need to exclude out the capital. So if you exclude the capital of 1,000, interest rate payment for 10 years is 628.89 only. This one, 20 years after minus 1,000 is 1653.3. So is this amount double of this amount? Okay, 1653.3 is more than double of 628.89. So this already shows 20 years at 5% give you an interest rate more than double. Why? Because the interest is also being compounded. So you make an extra of around $300 or $400. Okay, very simple. To explain to D why the interest earned in part C is not twice, no, it's actually more than twice. Okay, because we need to deduct the initial capital of 1,000 from both of the figure first. Okay, then you can see the interest is indeed more than double. Okay, can this explanation fair? Understandable? Can digest? Can accept or not? Or cannot? Can we explain that? Okay, you see the question is telling us, how come the figure, the future value in 20 years is only 2653.3 compared to A, which is 1628.9. Isn't this 20 years later? What? This is for 10 years. You see, this is for 10 years. This is for 20 years. So isn't it supposed to be double of this? Okay? So, yes, indeed, it should be more. It should be double, at least double. Okay? But over here, it shows 2653.30 and 1628.89 is definitely not double. Because why? This amount included the initial capital of $1,000. So to see whether it's double or not in the interest, you need to deduct that initial investment of $1,000. You find out in A, you actually earn in interest rate is only 628.89. Whereas the interest you earn in C is already 1653.30. So 1653.30 is more than double of 628.89. Correct or not? Satish. Yep. So in this case, the interest is indeed more than double of what is paying out on A. And why is it more than double? Because the interest is being compounded also. So it's definitely going to be more. The longer it is, the more you're going to get. Interest compound by interest some more, and then the interest is compounding also. Not only on just the initial investment, the interest is compounding on top of that. So that's why you get a higher interest. It's not only double, it's more than double. Again. Are you okay, Satish? Okay, huh? Good. All right. The seems that Satish only having some complication, so the rest not asking. I assume you are fine. So fine means good. Let's move on. Let's move on, huh? So the next question here is also calculating. They tell you for each of the following, compute the present value. So they give you the future value, they give you the interest rate, and they give you the year. All right. So those who are using financial calculator, this is heavenly for you, right? It's easy. But those who are using the scientific calculator, you want to count PV now. So to count PV, the formula is FV divided by 1 plus R power of T. So for A, okay, for A, present value is equals to future value of 13827 divided by 1 plus interest rate of 0.07, 7% is 0.07, power of 6. B, PV equals to 43852 divided by 1 plus interest rate of 0.15, power of 9. C, PV equals to 725,380 divided by 1 plus 0.11, power of 18. And lastly, the PV is equal to 590,710, 1 plus 0.18, power of 23. Okay. So what are the answers? You'll start calculating. So those who use financial calculator, I just do the first one for you. You put 13827 for FB, 7% for IY, 6 for N, and compute your PV. You get a negative figure, so you don't care about it. Just put it, put it the positive number. All right. So good. Satbin got it 9213.51. All right. Let's count, huh? B. Okay, very good. 1, 2, 4, 6, 0.48. Gender. Okay, 110. 854.154.15. And lastly, 13124.66. Okay, so play with your calculator. Make sure before you're doing your test or your exam, you are familiar with your calculator, because it's very important to know your calculator well. Okay, especially when you want to reset it. So remember to reset it. Make sure that you know how to set it back to the default setting, and make sure that you can set the decimal point also. All right. So very simple. Okay. When it comes to future value, present value, or talk about monetary value, you use two decimal points. Okay. Use two decimal points. All right. If you are counting whole number, you need to use 4 decimal point, and if you're counting interest rate, you use 2 decimal point also. So you'll see later when we move on. All right. So we already done FV, we done PV. Of course, the question next upcoming one will ask you to count interest rate and also the years. So let's see. Question 4 here, they want you to count the interest rate. Okay. So the formula of interest rate after converting the FV equals to PV times 1 plus R power of T. After converting for interest rate, it will be like this. FV divided by PV power of 1 over T minus 1. Okay. So for the first question here, to count R, they give the present value. Okay. R equals to present value, equals future value 307 divided by 242 power of 1 over T. T here is 4 years minus 1. Find your R. This is with scientific calculator. Okay. With the financial calculator, 307 is equals to FV. 242 plus minus is equals to PV. Your 4 is equals to N, and then you compute R. You can get your answer. Okay, you get your answer. Repeat this activity for the next 3 formula. R equals to 896 divided by 410, 1 over 8 minus 1. R equals to 161 divided by 51,700, 1 over 16 minus 1. And lastly, R equals to 483,500 divided by 1875, 1 over 27 minus 1. So this is interest rate. So once you get your interest rate, you can write it either 4 decimal point, or you convert into percentage. It's going to be 2 decimal point. So this you get 0.0613 or 6.13%. What do you get for B? Anyone tried already? Godzilla. Okay, Godzilla found it 0.1027 or 10.27%. Okay, this one 0.0741 or 7.41%. You see, when you put on percentage, it's 2 decimal point. When it's in your whole number, okay, it's gonna be on 4 decimal point. And 12.79, the last one. 0.1279 or 12.79%. So everybody got it? Regardless whether you're using scientific or financial. So I got it, huh? Anyone, any questions so far? Any difficulty? Got it. Very good. Okay. So no difficulty. It seems too easy for you guys. Very well done. So if it's easy, we move on a little bit faster without wasting too much time. Come. So question 5 now. Okay. All right. This is question 5. So for the unknown number in each number of years in each of the following. So now they want you to find the years. Find the years. The formula for years, you convert everything is equals to t or time equals to ln fv over pv divided by ln 1 plus r. Okay. So A, T is ln FV is 1284 divided by 625 ln 1 plus R is 9%, 0.09. Okay. Financial calculator one very easy. Just key in future value 1284, present value 625, interest rate, compute n. Okay. 8.35. Very good. Okay, if it's going to be 8.35 years. All right. Repeat this same activity for the rest. Okay, T equals to ln FV over PV. Interest is 11%. T is equals to ln FV over PV and 17%. Yep, correct. B is 16.09 years. Very good. Okay, 16.09, 19.65, yes. Yes. Yep. B 27.13. Very good. Okay, so B is T ln 173,439 divided by 21,500 over ln 1 plus 0.08. So 27.13. Very good. Got it. Well done. Okay, very simple. This is the easy part. Very easy. All right. No rocket science. So basically, they teach you one by one on PV, FV, IY, and even your N. Okay. So this shouldn't be a problem in coming exam anymore. So now number 6 here is a bit different. Number 6 is telling us something different here. An investor purchasing a British console is entitled to receive annual payment from the British government forever. So this question, when you see the keyword here, the keyword is forever. So you see forever, never ending, perpetuity, eternity, and etc. with the same meaning. All these carry one same motive. This is the perpetuity calculation. Payment equals to, present value equals to C divided by R. Okay, so let's back to the question. Second sentence. What is the price of a console that pays $150 annually if the next payment occur 1 year from today. 1 year from today. So now it's times 0. All right. And it's going to be forever. The market interest rate is 4.6%. Okay, forever. Huh? So 150, 150 until forever. Okay, interest rate here given to you is 4.6%. So they want to count how much will you pay for this console that will give you 150 forever. Very easy. Just use the formula EV equals to C over R. So what is C? C is your payment, $150. What is R? Your interest rate, 0.046. So this will give you the initial cost of buying this console. So the cost of this console is 3,260.87. You pay this amount at the beginning of year 0, and then from then onwards, every single year you're going to get $150 forever. Okay, this is a perpetuity calculation. Very simple. Just remember, EV equals to C divided by R. C stands for coupon rate for your payment. R is your interest rate. Can, huh? This is very easy question. All right. Very simple, very easy to understand question. My favorite kind of question. If you ever come in an exam, oh, this is my favorite. It's a bonus mark. Okay. So perpetuity done, present value done. Now, the following question here, question number 7. What are they telling you? Connolly Corporation has identified an investment project with the following cash flow. If the discount rate is 10%, what is the present value of the cash flow? What is the present value at 18%? So two scenarios here. So you need to count the present value of the cash flow. So what is in 7 here is called present value with multiple cash flow. Okay, multiple cash flow present value. So if this kind of question is best for you to draw a timeline. Throughout the timeline, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 0, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. Year 1, 960 cash flow, 840 cash flow, 935 cash flow, and 1350 cash flow. Okay? This is what it means in the question. They want you to count the present value here. They give you two interest rates. One is at 10%. One is at 18%. So do 2 times. Okay. So what does it mean? Means is basically wanting you to count the present value of each of these cash flow. So if year 1 discounted by 1 year, year 2 discounted by 2 years, year 3 discounted by 3 years, year 4 discounted by 4 years. Okay. So do you want to write this out? Present value at 10%. Okay. Year 1 you pay 960 divided by 1 plus R, which is 10%, power of 1. Year 2 is 840. 1 plus 0.1, power of 2 for year 2. Year 3, 1 plus 0.1, power of 3. And year 4, 1350 divided by 1 plus 0.1, power of 4. Okay, you may count all this one by one and add together. Okay, just key one lump sum of it in your calculator. But that's a risk here. My recommendation is to count one by one. So at 10%, you will be getting 3,191.49. Okay. Repeat this with 18%. 18% means you change 960, 1 plus 0.18, power 1, 840, 1 plus 0.8, power 2, 935, power 3, and lastly 1350, power 4. So this will give you a lower net present value of 262.22. And cannot. Very simple, right? Straightforward, easy. Am I right? Is it considered easy or not? Easy because you've seen this before. Confirm you see this before in Intro to Finance. Okay? Can I move on? Right. Good. Some response coming in. Okay, I see the number of students has dropped. Because now there's 35, now only left with 33. I don't know where the rest went. So hopefully I'm not too boring for you. Okay. Hopefully you can follow what is going on too. Alright. Okay. So let's carry on now. Let's carry on with our following questions. Question number 8 here. Let's go to question number 8. An investment offer 4,900 per year for 15 years. 4,900 for 15 years. Okay. For 15 years, and with the first payment occurring 1 year from now. If the required return is 8%, what is the value of the investment? What should be the value if the payment occurs for 40 years or forever? So this is simple. We just now already do PV, we already do present value perpetuity, we already do present value with multiple cash flow, and now this one is talking about constant payment coming in. Okay, constant payment coming in. Okay, for 15 years, so here's 0, here's 15 years. So 1, 2 years, year 1, year 2, from now until 15 years. So you're receiving a payment now, a 4,900 payment for the next 15 years. Okay, the interest rate that they give you is either 8% or, yeah, it's given to you 8% only lah. Sorry, so it's 8%. The changes that you will do in the second part is for 14 years instead. So now they want you to count the present value here. So this kind, when you see there's a constant money coming in, okay, it's no more just present value, so simple. It's called a present value annuity. Means annually there's income coming in. So present value annuity is equals to C. C is the payment coming in times with 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R power of T divided by R. This is the formula. Okay. So for this first one, they want you to count for 15 years. You just put in 4,900 of coupon rate, 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 0.08 power of 15 divided by 0.08. Okay, you get your answer. For those who use financial calculator, what you should do is, now instead of just clicking PV and FV and etc., in this case 0 is equals to FV, 4,900 is equals to payment. Okay, 8% IY, 15, and compute PV. Get a negative figure. Okay, so what you'll get for this? Manual and calculator. What is the answer here? Answer, come. Very good. Very good. 41,941.45. Okay? Alright. Very good. So seems like all is doing well. So now, second part of the question, they tell you, what if this is 40 years? Change this to 40. The rest will remain the same. Change your n to 40. Okay? The rest remain the same. What do you get now? Try that. I'll let you guys try. Whoa, that's fast. Okay? Rodena already got it. 58,430.61. Very fast. Okay? Very fast. So for 40 years is 58,430.61. So coming to the last part of the question, I don't know, you will try to fill it, do some time first. Coming part to the last of the question, the keyword here given to you is forever. Forever here means basically PV equals to C divided by R already. Okay. Coupon rate you know is 4,900. Interest rate is 8%, so it's 0.08. So how much if it's a forever? Okay, you just take 49,000 divided by 0.08, and you can get your forever value. The present value for one lump sum you pay to your forever value of 4900. Exactly, very good. $61,250 you pay today so that you can get 4,900 in the upcoming year forever. This is basically until you die. All right. So simple. Today we went through all the formulas already. The last two questions basically repetitive a bit. So we go through it together again. So number 9 here, the Perpetual Life Insurance Corporation is trying to sell you an investment policy that will pay you and your heir. Your heir here 15,000. I don't know how many generations they are talking about here, but they are paying you and your next upcoming generation $15,000 per year forever. Okay, keyword again, forever. So when you see this forever, I told you straight away know it's the perpetuity. All right, so 15,000 per year forever. Not only for you, even for your upcoming generation also, you see. Okay, the required return on this investment, your I, is 5.2%. Okay, how much will you pay for the policy? So this is the first one. So how much you will pay? Use the PV equals to C over R. 15,000 divided by 0.052. This is how much you will pay to have this benefit. Okay. Second part of the question. Suppose the perpetual life insurance co told you the policy costs 320,000. What interest rate would this be a fair deal? So now, instead of calling you to count a PV, they give you PV $320,000. They want you to find interest rate instead. Okay, so the first one is to find what is the present value. All right, present value here is $288,461.54. That means to pay this lump sum now, for you, the whole life and your upcoming generation later on, you'll receive 15,000. Okay, that's the value that they give you. All right, so now they change it a bit. Okay, they give you your PV. They want you to find your R. So if PV is given to you as $320,000, the payment is remaining same, $15,000, but they want you to find the R. So this is the formula. So R will be 15,000 divided by 320,000. Okay, 320,000. Okay, 15,000 divided by 320,000. So this will give you the decimal point 0.0469 or 4.69%. Okay, right? No rocket science at all, right? Quite straightforward, huh? Can follow, cannot follow. Cappuccini is one of the easiest in this discounted cash flow. Very easy, very good. All right. So let's see the last question. Last question a bit weird, a bit different. Okay. Last question a bit weird, a bit different, huh? So let's put it in a timeline. Let's put it in a timeline. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The present value of the cash flow from the stream is 7,300. Present value they give you. Okay. First year 1,005. Unknown 2,700 and 2,900. Okay. Interest rate 8%. All right. This is as much as they could give you. Okay. They want you to find this. So very simple. You just want to find present value at 8%. Is how much? It's equals to 7,300. So 7,300 is equals to 1,005 divided by 1.08 power of 1 plus x 1.08 power of 2 plus 2,007 1.08 power of 3 plus 2,900 1.08 power of 4. So the headache is this one, unknown. So what you do is count all the value for all of these one by one. Okay, count all of these one by one. So 7,300 equals to 1388. Oops, 1388.89 plus 2,700 will be 2,143.35 plus 2,131.89. Okay, shift everything over. All right, you basically can get x divided by 1.08 power of 2 equals to 1636.18. So x is equals to 1636.18 times with 1.08 power of 2. So x will give you 1908.44. A bit more long, a bit more lengthy, a bit more confusing. Okay, but it still follow the flow, just like that. All right. This basically wrap up for today's tutorial. So may I know, can you understand the last question or not?